Thanks for joining us on Arc Salt Lake. I'm Brian Schnee. Friday, November 22nd. Tonight we're going in depth on a concerning form of punishment at a Sevier County middle school.
Are they training them to be Navy SEALs behind parents' backs? And I think this has broader application. When you punish someone with exercise, it hurts them, it harms them.
A husband and wife in Sevier County are fighting for the release of a video record of student punishment that allegedly happened inside of South Sevier Middle School 2 years ago. Shanna and Jared Coomer say their child and others were subject to excessive exercise as a form of punishment, resulting in injury to their daughter. I've been following this extensively for the last 2 years or so, seeing what the family is still hoping for and what the school district has done throughout all of this.
We will never stop. Bring it. We will never stop fighting for these children.
Late November 2022, Jared and Shayna Coomer's 11-year-old daughter came home early from school, sick and injured.
On November 21st, 2022, in all sixth grade classes, PE classes at South Sevier Middle School, students were punished for a broken sign in the boys' locker room.
According to the Coomers, the punishment was what the school had called an endurance day and was run by a teacher's aide.
In this exercise, they were made to do sets of push-ups starting at 20, sprinting across the gym 19, sprinting 18, totaling 405 push-ups and 34 gym length wind sprints in a 30-minute period.
Back and forth correspondence with the principal and district superintendent. After getting an attorney involved, the Coomers were able to watch the video one time with district representatives without the ability to stop it or rewind it. How would you describe what you saw?
Towards the end of the video, you can see her in distress, like as she scoots her way back to the wall to be able to prop her feet against there just to get the strength to keep going and doing the push-ups, because she was trying to do all of them that they were told they had to do for the punishment.
What have you learned about endurance days since all of this transpired? Was this a thing that they were doing anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, endurance days was at sometimes a punishment program. This event is just the tip of the iceberg.
That point acknowledged in a letter from the Sevier School Superintendent addressing, quote, a possible pattern of corporal punishment found in PE classes historically. On December 7th, 2022, the middle school principal sent an email to parents saying that endurance days will no longer occur.
All they said was that endurance days were ending, and so parents assumed, hey, no, like our kids need to go through this. Like our kids need to be pushed a little bit and not take the easy way out. Not that punishment was linked to 400 push-ups or several jump squats, hundreds of jump squats.
The school district conducted their own investigation.
And no children were interviewed to find out what had really happened. And they said that that was not necessary, that what the side that they got from the educators and staff was enough.
The district recommended changes, which came with a written warning to the teacher's aide who ran the exercises that day. I reached out to Sevier School District Superintendent Kate Douglas about endurance days. In a statement, he said, the Sevier School District takes parents' concerns and student safety seriously. After being notified in November 2022 of a parent concern related to endurance days, the district reviewed the curriculum and made adjustments as appropriate, including eliminating endurance days. As a district, we are committed to continuously reviewing and updating our curriculum in order to provide our students with the best education possible.
We will not tolerate what was done to those children. And we saw that video, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. They've been doing it for years, Brian. Children's rights matter too, and children have the right to be safe at school.
Some clarification here. The push-ups in many cases were either modified or partial, according to both the Coomers and the school district who reviewed the footage. We'll get to that in a moment. Now, last night, I got a comment on my Facebook page about this story before we even aired the story or even published the article. So here's the comment. The staff and the administration are all amazing. The student culture and atmosphere at SSMS is amazing, welcoming, and a positive environment. It seems very exaggerated and not in context. Their daughter continued to go to school after this day, finished that school year, and then for another school year. It seems pretty inconsistent with the parents' claims of her not being safe. Why keep sending her? The highlight portion of the letter seems suspicious. Why not show the whole letter? Journalism needs to be honest and tell the whole story. These types of misleading stories are not responsible reporting. I'm glad all 3 of my kids went to SSMS and support the staff 100%. So, the highlighted portion of the letter that I shared on social media right here. Endurance days will no longer occur. That is from a letter sent out by the school principal on December 7th. I'm going to read that letter and another letter sent the same day from the district superintendent to the principal regarding 7 recommendations in the form of honest, responsible journalism, not to be misleading. I'm going to read them to you in full. Let's do it. We'll start with the letter that was sent to school here, and this is from the principal, sent to parents and students. We received feedback and an expression of concern from a parent asking us to evaluate our PE program. We appreciate any time a parent or student challenges us to consider whether current school practices and programs are providing efficient, effective, and positive experiences for our student body. To ensure the physical education experience is promoting the ideas of healthy and safe care of the body and mind, PE curriculum will be focused on specific sports activity units, along with the new addition of the whole body strengthening circuits and training stations. With the completion of our new building and grounds, these activities will be facilitated in the gyms, the paved track, grassy areas, or our new fitness program, fitness rooms rather, complete with equipment. Here's the quote: endurance days will no longer occur. Beginning with third quarter, a new program to help track and celebrate personal physical fitness goals will be implemented. More information about this program will come upon our return from Christmas break, and this was sent to parents and students December 7th, 2022. I'm going to read you a second letter now before we continue. This was sent the same day. This comes from the district superintendent to the principal, Michelle Nielsen. It says, this letter is intended to update and inform you about a formal investigation that was authorized on November 22nd, 2022 concerning a formal complaint filed by a parent regarding corporal punishment that occurred on 11/21/2022 and a possible pattern of corporal punishment found in PE classes historically. The investigation was completed on December 2nd, 2022. The formal investigation concluded with the following 7 recommendations, which you'll be required to complete and report back on. Here are the 7. I'll try to paraphrase, they're a little bit long. First one, endurance days at the SSMS Physical Education Department will be eliminated completely. It is also required to eliminate not only any and all use of physical exercise as punishment, but also to eliminate the negative connotation associated with endurance days at South Sevier Middle School. Next point, it is required that Mrs. Nielsen meet with the physical education department on a regular basis, giving teachers or direction to her teachers as to how to provide a positive environment during the physical education activities. It is also required that only SSMS certified PE teachers, not teachers' aides, instruct these classes according to the approved core curriculum standards in an effort to provide only positive physical activity that all students can and will benefit from. The third recommendation is as follows. It's required that Mrs. Nielsen will continue to counsel, redacted, on improving demeanor towards redacted students in an effort to build a positive perception by all students. Redacted admits that presence alone intimidates some students and has over the past few years been working with the principal to improve this perception. The next point here, this is number 4. It is required that corporal punishment not be used in any way at SSMS, including in the physical education department. Teachers will not intentionally inflict physical pain on the body of a student as a disciplinary measure. That one goes on for a few more lines, but I'm going to continue. Point 5, it is required that Mr. Blank will be given a written warning by the principal on a counseling form as to understanding his role as an instructional aide at the school level, adhering to the responsibilities listed in his job description as an instructional aide, and not take on the liability of acting as a teacher while in the role of said aide. Mr. Blank was found in violation of Sevier School District Policy 2225 4.1.8. That is as follows. Unprofessional conduct, not characteristic of or benefiting a district employee, including a violation of standards of ethical, moral, or professional conduct. Sixth point here, it is required that blank be counseled by the principal in the event that someone else is instructing physical education classes to observe and take control of the class when blank recognizes that the activity is potentially of an excessive nature and possibly unsafe for the students and corrects it. What occurs in blank's classroom is her responsibility. Final, seventh recommendation. It is required that the principal meet with the physical education teachers and assures they conveys the goals, objectives, and purpose behind the day's lessons to the students when it comes to any cardiovascular workout and ensures this is reflected in course syllabus. Those are the 7 requirements that were sent on the same day as that letter to parents and students of South Sevier Middle School back on December 7th, 2022. Let's continue.
It's so disappointing as a Utah to be treated like dirt as parents. And again, we're not backing down from it, but it's so disappointing.
In response to the Coomer's concerns, there was communication to parents in general saying, hey, we're going to change things here.
Continuing to go in depth on this, we told you about parent concerns with exercise used as punishment at South Sevier Middle School. This happened 2 years ago, and the school took action by ending what they referred to as endurance days. Now, the parents have seen surveillance video of the alleged incident in question at the middle school, but their fight continues years later. So the South Sevier School District actually allowed the Coomers to watch that video of what happened back on November 21st, 2022. But to this day, the district doesn't want the Coomers to have a copy of that video. They cite federal law, FERPA, and an inability to redact.
We just want parents to know what's been happening to their children. And we want children to know that what was done to them was wrong, that their rights were violated.
The Coomers filed a public records request to get a copy of the video. They were denied by the school district, so it went to the State Records Committee.
Though he did not put his hands on them, he was intentionally inflicting physical pain as a result of the broken sign in the boys' locker room to all 6th graders, regardless if they were the ones who did it or not.
At that hearing, the school district arguing to not release the video.
Yes, the superintendent said, physical exercise is not to be used as a form of punishment, because that's not appropriate. The district recognizes that. That is a very different thing from saying we concluded in this case that physical exercise was used as a form of punishment.
After watching the video,
we order that the record be released with redactions.
the State Records Committee ruled in favor of the Coomers, but they still don't have the video.
Why are they doing this to us? Our child was hurt, and then we're having lawsuits filed against us to take us to court.
Years later, the Coomers are fighting for a copy of the video, but this time in court.
It's so disappointing as a Utah to be treated like dirt as parents. And again, we're not backing down from it, but it's so disappointing.
It's not just the parents the district refused to show the video to. After the Coomers reached out to Sevier County Sheriff's Office, their detective says he too was told he was not allowed to watch the video because of FERPA. Related to the court case, Superintendent Cade Douglas wrote, "The focus of the current litigation is not related to endurance days. The focus is whether a video as a federally protected educational record can be released under Utah's open records statute. The district permitted the parents to view the video. However, because it shows an entire class of students, the district has an obligation under Family Education Rights and Privacy Act to protect those students' records."
We don't believe punishing children against Utah laws is good for children. But we want parents to know throughout the state, punishing children with exercise is wrong. Scientifically, it harms the children. It makes them not want to exercise.
Will you ever stop?
We will never stop. We will never, ever, ever stop. I hope the district knows that by now.
Well, the Coomers also reached out to DCFS and the State Board of Education. Neither took action. As the Coomers continue their fight for access to the video, they've been in court with the school district for over a year now. The next hearing coming up in January. Now, we've been getting some messages about this story all day. Some saying the exercise as reported was excessive, which, by the way, was documented by both the Coomers and the school staff as they watched the video back. Others are saying that they support the school, its faculty and staff, 100%. Some parents even saying they want the endurance days back because they feel this type of exercise is what their children need. It's been a talker, generating a lot of opinions. And that conversation continues now. I spoke with child psychologist Dr. Doug Goldsmith about this today.
One of the important things in the field of school psychology and classroom management is that we do not do group punishment. Because even in a class of 25 kids, you're never going to have a situation where all 25 kids deserve to be punished. And what we know when we use group punishment is that we end up with the kids attacking those who actually did do the infraction, which is actually causes peer-to-peer problem, or the group turns on the faculty or administration and are really furious for being treated unfairly.
Now, what about the pure psychological aspect of using exercise as a form of punishment for middle-aged school kids?
I think one of the problems that we may be seeing is we know that kids have gotten more difficult in the schools. They're more difficult in the classroom. They're difficult in the libraries, in the cafeterias. The schools are doing constant surveillance, and principals are spending a lot of time going through videos to see, what about this fight that happened in the hallway? What about this bullying that happened in the hallway? And I think sometimes this kind of excessive punishment may be a reflection of, kind of burnout from staff and administrators about kids. We are so sick and tired of this. We've got to put a stop to it. The way to put a stop to it is not excessive physical punishment, but by actually talking to the kids about respect, having assemblies about this is how to behave in the schools. We don't do enough of that.
Well, the conversation continued with Dr. Doug Goldsmith. Exercise as enjoyment or punishment? That is on our YouTube page right now. We'll continue following this. You can find more on our website, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Arc Salt Lake here on this 7 o'clock hour on Friday evening. We're going to take a little bit of a more in-depth look at this satellite image here, which we've been talking about, this bomb cyclone here off the Pacific Northwest coast for the last couple of days. Well, some things have changed recently where we've seen actually kind of a transition. There it is, that monster storm that supposedly bombed out, which means just rapidly intensified. Well, we had another secondary low here form and develop, and they're kind of doing this dance now here towards the Pacific Northwest where, yes, this one also intensively, explosively intensified here over the last day or so, and that's kind of become the new dominant storm system. So they have done this kind of dance here over the last 24 hours. There's our new low. The old bomb is what's going to be pushing in here towards the weekend, and that's going to bring us a whole new slurry of weather to deal with here in the Beehive State. Clouds overnight keeping our temperatures rather mild for this time of year, only getting down into the 40s here across the Wasatch Front. And yes, we're still dealing with that atmospheric river here across portions of central California, including flash flood warnings just to the east of San Francisco and the Oakland area. We've seen between 40 and 60 inches of snow in places like Mount Shasta, California. Also up towards Crater Lake, they're sitting on a very hefty 60-inch base just as of recently. All that snow coming over the last 3 or 4 days. Now, high-resolution future track shows that as we head through the night, we'll keep that cloud cover in the forecast. A couple showers pop up in the mountains tomorrow afternoon, but it's not till the late night where things really start to get going. And in fact, we will likely see a rain change over to snow here across the Wasatch Front Valley floors by about 4 or 5 a.m. on Sunday. So future snowfall amounts generally light, 0 to 2 inches across our valley floors, maybe a little bit more in our mountain valleys in southwest Wyoming. The northern and central mountains, 3 to 8 inches, and some of our resorts, particularly up the Cottonwood Canyon, seeing as much as 12 inches. 60s in the forecast for St. George to 50s with some light rain, mostly sunny skies for your Thanksgiving, but we are watching that forecast for Wednesday. It's a high travel day. Rain and snow showers on Sunday, clearing for Monday, rain turning to snow by Wednesday, but it's all clear for now for Thursday here in Salt Lake City, high temperature of 40 degrees.
Final night that I get to hang out with Trent Parker on Arc Salt Lake. Trent, thanks for always going in depth with us, especially on all those very interesting weather topics.
Always
like
a lot
the bomb,
of fun. Yeah,
the
always a
bomb
lot of fun
cyclone.
hanging out with you at 7 o'clock,
We'll miss
5:30.
you. I'm trying to retain him at all costs.
Have a
See you
good night,
next
guys.
week.